Hello everybody, welcome back to the RJ Ball. A bit different today. I'm going to go over what my URC and Premiership team are going to be for this upcoming season. Only on new signings, not interchangeable like between clubs, like they have to come from a different league. And I'm going to make my 23s to both teams and yeah, getting straight into it now. Firstly, my loose head prop is going to be Angus Bell. He is moving to Ulster from the Waratahs this season only. He'll be returning back to Australia after. Yeah, cap for Australia, really explosive ball carrier, and he brings a massive impact off the bench. It'll be nice to see the season where Ulster try play him. I'd imagine they'll start him, but they could try use him for his explosiveness off the bench. But no, really talented player, definitely could be involved for like team of the year. Next at hooker is Tavi Tupulutu, younger brother of Scotland captain Sione. I haven't seen much of him yet. He kind of gets in just by default as there aren't many signings, but he does seem very promising, and Tupulutu himself has spoke out about how good he could become in the future. My tight head is Dylan Lewis. He is signed for the Dragons this year, coming from Harlequins. Um, yeah, his scrummaging has always been quite powerful, but then would have issues on occasion. He hasn't had the greatest consistency, and his really high explosive work rate on the pitch for the first 50 minutes leaves it breathless towards the end, and he can get a bit sloppy towards the end and not perform as well. But overall, I think it's a good signing for Dragons, and he could probably get a good starting spot this season. Next, we have a much more experienced Welsh player in Jake Ball, returning to Scarlets from Green Rockets. He's very much an enforcer type of lock. He was a very big ball carrier, really just predominant worker on the pitch, just tackling things, hitting the rucks, and maybe on occasion showing a little bit of ill discipline, but really good signing to come back for Scarlets. Could play for Wales, I reckon. Definitely be in the mix for him. Next, we have another signing for a Welsh club in Ryan Smith. He's leaving the Queensland Reds and joining Ospreys. Very different to Jake Ball. Like Ryan Smith can lead a line-out, orientate a line-out, be really dangerous there. We also still got brilliant work around the pitch. That's where Ryan Smith is mostly dangerous. Definitely a really good signing. He's definitely helped a lot of the youngsters at Ospreys improve and grow as players. Next on blindside, I take Ross Moriarty, a bigger body blindside, definitely a big ball carrier, which is definitely going to be something very important to have in the team. Former teammate of Dylan Lewis and Jake Ball. No, really good player. He signed for the Ospreys rather than the Dragons, which is quite surprising, as that's where he played for many years. But no, definitely a really good signing for the URC, and probably see him involved in Wales soon. They need some bigger ball carriers. On the open side, I take Ruan Ackerman, which is he's returning to the Stormers this year, which is a surprise considering he's born in Pretoria and his father is going to be coaching Pretoria, but a really robust ball carrier, useful at line-up time, great, like a very talismanic leader, so definitely a really good signing for the Stormers and definitely could become a staple player for them this season. Finishing off the starting pack with Ulster's new signing in Jano Augustus, coming from Northampton Saints, definitely one of the best players in the Prem over the last year or so. Really powerful ball carrier, good footwork taken into contact, and good work around the pitch. I think his only real competition at Ulster is Nick Timoney, but even so, I think Timoney would just shift to open side. Really good signing for Ulster and definitely become one of their best players in a while. On to Corbus Reinach as halfback. He's heading to the Stormers this year. Yeah, really fast playing ball and pound for pound, probably one of the strongest players on the pitch. Really good signing. It'll bring really good experience to the younger players coming through the Stormers system. Yeah, definitely a really valuable asset to have around. The man that I'll be pairing Corbus with is also an excellent Springbokker in Andre Pollard, signed for the Bulls this year, returning after many years abroad of Leicester Tigers. Yeah, no, dead shot goal kicking. His attack significantly improved underneath Tony Brown. Yeah, no, just a fantastic player to have around, and I don't think more needs to be said, really. Just he's that good. This is currently RSL of the Bulls. He'll be returning after a short stint in Japan. Brilliant footwork and work rate on the pitch. He's great at disrupting that high ball, like for other oppositions, even though not being the best to claim it himself. But he'll definitely be a great asset this season. His attack significantly improved since starting a lot of games at fullback in Japan. Great player to have back for the Bulls. Next is Joe Hawkins of Exeter Chiefs. He is moving to Scarlets this season to become eligible for Wales once again. I don't think this is actually the best move for him. Cardiff, Ospreys, or even Dragons would have been much better for him. It's going to be difficult for him to get game time over Eddie James, Johnny Williams, and Joe Roberts, and along with Max Page there. But no, Joe Hawkins is a really good player, and I could definitely see him involved with Wales. He just needs to get that starting role at Scarlets now. Next, we have the new Leinster man in Rico Ioane. He's trading places with Geordie Barrett. His ability to cover both 13 and wing. No. And he also has the miracle ability to just get over the gain line, get loads of post contact meters, amazing speed to him. Definitely going to be one of the top performers this year. It's just about how much they're going to play him in the URC because they might want to save him for the Champions Cup. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. Onto the right wing, we have Fainanisi, the Tongan international. He's moving to the Dragons from Moana Pacifica. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dragons play him a lot at 13. He's very similar to Riku Ioane. I just don't think he has the technical capability that Riku Ioane has, and that's why I play Ioane at 13 and Fainanisi on the wing. But Fainanisi is still a great player in his own right, and I could definitely see him being really good this season. Definitely one of the top performers. Lastly, for the starting backline, I take Sam Gilbert. He is moving to Connacht from the Highlanders. I think he's going to be fantastic this season. He brings the great option of goal kicking. He's also really dangerous in attack. Covers most of the back line. So I always think he's just one of the most unlucky players to not be captain New Zealand. So a really good player. I definitely can see him being team of the year or even player of the year for URC this year. Moving on to the bench, I'm not going to focus too much. First of all, Richie Asiata, backup hooker. Also a bit in here, like in by default, like Tavi Tuipulotu. Decent enough player for the Queens of Reds. Doesn't get much game time though. Moving to Benetton this season. Wyn Jones is my loose head prop replacement. He'll be joining his teammate Dylan Lewis with the Dragons this season. Really good. Legend for Wales, British and Irish Lion. So definitely brings vast experience. I just think Bell's the better player right now, that's all. But no, Wyn Jones is still really high quality, and I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the starting spot of the Dragons. At tight head, this is also a bit just like they're kind of just in by default. Robert Hunt, haven't seen much of him. He's a cheater. It was between him and Sam Crean. I think Robert Hunt could have a bit more chance of getting the starting spot, and we haven't seen much of him, so I don't know how good he really is. Next is Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg, coming from Montpellier, returning to Pretoria, the Bulls. Really good player, like recently. He's been on great form for Montpellier. He's not fit at the moment, but he can cover both second row and blind side. Asset at the lineup and asset around the pitch. Really good signing, I think. Next is Sotala Fa'aasu, moving from Perpignan, coming to Benetton. Yeah, no, really big physical freak. Plays from Samoa. Good signing. I don't think he's the best. I think there are definitely better players amongst the Benetton team, but it will bring some good experience to some of the younger players there. So definitely a good asset to have around. Next, my replacement scrum half is Ryan Davies. He's coming to Cardiff for the season on loan from Bath, but no, good youngster, promising. He looked really good against Richmond in the friendly on the weekend. Brings good ball speed, good tactical awareness, good tactical kicking. It'll be nice to see. I don't think he's going to be the biggest signing, but definitely a good enough one. On to Dan Lancaster, the replacement fly half. He looked really good for Racing this season, like probably one of the better fly halves there over Owen Farrell and Antoine Gibbert. Played 10 and 12 a lot. Really good, really promising player. Moving to Glasgow this season, as he is Scottish qualified, so we'll see if he'll be playing for them soon. Really good player. Looking forward to seeing him. Next is Josh Fluke. He's coming to Benetton, a part of the loan deal to build the relationship between the Queensland's Reds and Benetton, which was formed by Michael Liner. But no, Josh Fluke, really good player. He could definitely be involved with Wallabies. Not just yet, I don't think. I think he needs a bit of time to grow still and develop a couple skill set issues, but really good player. I like him a lot. Definitely worthy of this team. This is for anyone who has any issues with me playing Curtly Armiser. I know we played a couple of games towards the beginning of the season. But I'll shift Riku Rani to wing, Josh Fluke to start at outside centre, and I'll bring Jon Fontaine to the bench. He's moving to the Bulls from Montpellier this year, so I'm also looking excited to see him a bit. Now on to the Premiership rugby players. Same criteria, so I'm just going to get straight into it now. On to my Prem rugby loose head, I take Danilo Fischetti. I think he's an absolute talisman. He led Zebra into a really good season last year. Definitely much improvement. And Danilo Fischetti himself is really good, like work around the park. He's just always been fantastic for Italy. So definitely a really good signing this year for the Northampton Saints. My hooker is Joseph Dweber. He's coming from the Stormers to Exeter Chiefs this year. He's a really powerful scrummager and like just work around the pitch. Like it's really surprising for a man of his size, and his ball carrying is excellent. I think his only really big area that you need to develop is his lineup consistency. A lot of time he can throw a really skew ball, and I think if he can sort that out, he can be a top player, especially like overall in the Prem, to become the best hooker, I reckon. My tight head will be Pedro Delgado. He is moving from his team in the Super Rugby America competition, and he's moving to Harlequins. Um, yeah, really good ball carries. Looked really good for Argentina recently. Like obviously not top tier. But he'll get that now after playing a bit more with a proper professional team. So I'm looking really forward to seeing how he develops now. Really promising for me. My first second row is JJ Van der Mesch. He can run into things like no day, like there's no day tomorrow, and his work rate for a man of his size and capability is immense. Like you wouldn't look at him as like, oh, he could do all this, but no, he's phenomenal. Like the amount of work he can get done in a pitch and in game day is amazing. He's a fantastic player, and I wouldn't be surprised seeing him coming into South Africa in the next few years to come. Really good player, really exciting. Pairing JJ in the second row, I take Guido Petit. He is moving from Bordeaux to Harlequins. Petit can play across the back row, he can play in the second row, he can be really involved in that line-out, he can be a really dominant ball carrier, and his ruck entries are also really high. Really good player, definitely a really good signing for Harlequins. Brings tons of experience as well. Really good player. For my blind side, I take Georgian Luka Ivanashvili. I think he can be really dominant in defence, making some really significant game-changing tackles. He's also a really good jackal threat, and his work rate he gets around the pitch, his workload is amazing. He's also a bit of a talisman, captaining Georgia and Black Lion previously. Really good player for me. Definitely will be involved, even though the competition is quite high in the back row for Bristol. Next up is a player I think is very similar to Sam Gilbert, how he's unlucky not to get more caps for New Zealand. Tom Christie. He's a very traditional seven. He'll tackle everything, and his ruck entries and turnover stats are really good. Yeah, he's a fantastic player, signing for Newcastle, and I think he can single-handedly change Newcastle and improve their game so much. Won the Super Rugby Pacifica competition with Crusaders several occasions. Fantastic player. He'll be one of the best signings overall for both URC and Prem. On to my number 8, I take Jacqueline Moreau. He gets through a massive workload as well, similar to a lot of these players in this. No, he can play all across the back row. Really good. He's looked really good with Argentina, however briefly he's been involved. Signing for Leicester, and I think he'll learn a lot from Ollie Cracknell, but I also think he'll take that starting spot with two hands. He'll be really good this season, really dominant, I think. On to Stephen Varney, who was actually meant to play in last year's Premiership, but left to Vans for unknown reasons. He'll be returning to Exeter this year to join two Italian teammates of his, Andrea Zambonin and Ross Vincent. He brings really good pace to that ball, and he'll definitely help a lot of the younger scrum halves next to improve. Yeah, Stephen Varney, really promising and really high quality player. Definitely one of the top scrum halves in the world on his day. On to James O'Connor of Australia. He'll be joining Leicester Tigers. Fantastic experience, and he can become an amazing playmaker. He won the Super Rugby Pacifica with Crusaders last year, and he's done loads in his career. Fantastic player, and he'll just have to be involved. And he'll probably make team of the year, I reckon. Really good player, moving to Leicester this season. On to Henry Arundel on left wing. He is going to join Bath this season. He originally played for London Irish, who went bankrupt, and he went to play Racing for a couple of years. But now he's returning. He hopes to play for England, and he's a really fast ball player and just amazing finishing ability. I think he needs to up his work rate and ability around the pitch, but otherwise he's a really good finisher. My inside centre is actually Owen Farrell, who's also returning to Saracens this year um, from Racing 92. Yeah, he didn't have his best year at all. Definitely was really bad with injuries and stuff. But he did really well with the Lions towards the end of the year, and he's just vast experience. I think returning to Saracens, he'll step up again, and he'll become one of the best players in the league. Partnering Farrell, I have another Australian in Len Ikitau, one of the best centres in the world by a mile. He can be a really powerful ball carrier, playmaker, run into space, distribute nicely. He can do it all really, and he's been amazing for the Wallabies over the last year or so. Definitely one of the best players, especially when they weren't doing the best. On to the right wing, we have a player returning to rugby union in Lewis Rees-Sammett. He's coming to Bristol. He previously has played for Gloucester and Wales. Really good finishing ability, and he'll probably come back in for Wales as well. He attempted NFL, didn't seem to go too successful, so wanted to make his return where he truly is one of the best players in the world. Excited to see him back. He'll be a staple for both Wales and Bristol in the next couple of years. For my man sitting at the back at 15, I take Ethan Grayson. He's returning from a stint with San Diego in America, but he looked really good there. It will be difficult to see how it translates here because the quality is definitely a different level, but there aren't many fullbacks coming into the league, and I think Ethan Grayson is definitely a good player. So he's definitely a good player to have around for Newcastle, and hopefully he can be helpful in sparking up Newcastle to go and have a brilliant season this year, especially with the new signings. Onto the bench, starting with George Turner, the Scottish international hooker. Really good quality. It'll be good to see how he comes in after playing in Japan for a while. He'll definitely be one of the better players. It's just I think Webber's going to probably become one of the best hookers in the league. That's the only reason Turner isn't starting, I reckon. For my replacement loosehead, I've got a prospect player in Boris Wenger, coming from Super Rugby America also, covers both loosehead and hooker. I think he's a fantastic prospect, and I hope he can really come through this year for Harlequins. He'll have good competition with Finn Baxter there, so he'll definitely improve a lot just by competing alone. Next is Tonga Kof. I think he is really good for America, but I think his only issue is translating his scrum skills now, because I think a thing that's difficult for him is MLR. They changed the scrum rules, so it's going to be different for him. But I think if he can up his scrum game here, he can definitely be a really good anchor for USA in the years to come. In the 19 shirt, I take Tom Hooper, who's had a much better year this year than in previous years. Really good player, really helpful in line-up time. He covers both second row and blind side, an amazing worker around the pitch. Definitely will become a really good player in the season, and it's really between him and Ivan Ashvili for like that best blindside role, I think. But I think anyone else in the competition comes near, really, even though there is really high quality everywhere in the Prem. My next back row replacement is James Venter. He's coming from the Sharks in the URC to the Prem to play for Gloucester. He's got a massive engine around him. His workload's always been amazing for the Sharks, and I think he'll become a staple for Gloucester. Most of the games open side, I think. He's fantastic, really, James Venter is. Next up is another Newcastle signing and Simon Bentis-Graz. I think he's actually better than Varney. It's just Varney has more test experience. I think Bentis-Graz has amazing tactical kicking, brings good speed. I think he's very well-rounded and really good scrum half. Just needs a couple more years in him to get a bit of experience, but really high quality. Got Super Rugby America Player of the Year. I just can't wait to see him playing for Newcastle this year. Really fantastic player. For my fly half replacement, I take Ross Byrne. I think he's been really good for Leinster over the years. Unlucky not to get more Ireland caps, I think. Really consistent player. Not a maverick per se, but just really consistent, and I think that's really good quality having a fly half. Consistency over being an absolute phenomenal player. Lastly, in my 23 shirt, I take Marius Lowe, the inside centre. I think he's been really good for the Lions and the Sharks over the last few years in the URC, and I think it's time for him to widen his skill set by joining the Sale Sharks. I think he'll develop a lot there and become an even better player. Good player, really good. And the talisman as well. He's captain the Lions, so definitely a really good player to have about for younger players as well. Same situation here as ours. For anyone who has a disagreement with Grayson being in because he did play the beginning of this Prem season last year, I'll move the corner to fullback, start Ross Byrne at fly half, and I'll bring Tom Jordan on the bench. Tom Jordan, great player, covers centre, fullback, fly half, really good ball carrier and really consistent for Glasgow last year. Signed for Bristol this year, so definitely could become a really good player and learn a lot from AJ McGinty. Thanks to anyone who listened all the way through. Bye.